So, Resident Evil.
Woohoo!
I looked it up today, and it was first released, in 2002, so 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Milla Jovovich has not aged somehow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, but she's still kicking ass.
Just as gorgeous as ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked, what is it? It's not called Afterlife, but I keep calling it Afterlife. The last one? The final chapter.
Yeah.
It has a very obvious name, and I still took it. But I really like this one. It was really gross, just like all the others with the monsters.
I actually went back and watched all of them because I like the movies. I really do. Mm-hmm. But I start to get to the point where I can't remember what happens in each movie. Mm-hmm. So I went back and watched all of them, and because I went back and watched all of them, I was a little disappointed. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of that had to do with the way that it started out. Like, I felt like the intro that usually happens in these movies are relatively consistent. Mm-hmm. With this one, a few things have been tweaked. The backstory for the daughter had been entirely changed. And usually
I guess it makes sense because they would have aged.
A kid. But, well, I mean, I get it because the daughter that's in the second one isn't the same girl that is the video representation of the Red Queen.
The Red Queen, even in the fourth one and the fifth one, are different.
Yeah. Well, I can understand, that they want to change the Red Queen representation every so often. I mean, it's like I can imagine that it'd be like software, it just changes. But changing the backstory of the daughter just like threw me out immediately. So for people who actually like them and will go back and watch the rest of them, you need to maintain the consistency that they've had for the rest of the movies. So I don't know why they did it this time.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like this one, and then which I kept thinking was the seventh one, which doesn't exist. When I was like trying to get more detailed information, I was like, Resident Evil number 7, and it would come up, which didn't help me.
I thought that this thing happened where the clones were a mistake. And they knew it because going into the movie right after that, they immediately kill them off within the first 15 minutes. And that's like just to bring Alice back to square one.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. So she has this army, and then it's like, well, you can't do anything with the army and still keep the formula as it is. So they had to kill them off way too quickly. And I think that might have been... I can't say that's where the series jumped the shark, because it always jumped the shark.
I was confused with like the Dr. Isaac character in this last one. Because, like he's died already, but then he's back. And then they reveal he's a clone, but then there's multiple clones. Yeah. And I was definitely like... what journey am I on right now? Yeah. And then there's this constant battle with the powers that she has and doesn't have, and like with every iteration with the T virus that she has, she suddenly has these more powers, and they aren't explained fully. In the final chapter 2, when they show like where they analyze all the possible options of like a fight scene. Yeah. And I think that's really cool, but it's really much like a cyborg thing to me. Yeah. So I was like, how does this play in?
Yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah. Is this just like how their brain operates now? Yeah. Or I don't know. It's confusing. But I liked it. I thought it looked cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing about these movies, is that they like their heart it's almost silly that we're analyzing them because they're not intended. They're not intended for overanalyzation. They're popcorn movies, and that's not a bad thing. No, it's good. For a long time, it threw me that she always kind of ended up in these tiny little Band-Aids, like half naked. Yeah. But then I started, like I said, I rewatched them before I watched this recent one. And this interesting thing happens if you start watching them back to the back. At the very end of the first one, she goes back into that victim mode where she wakes up in the hospital, covered in the Band-Aids, and wanders out. Looks like she should be very vulnerable and confused. But then she immediately grabs a shotgun and knows how to kick ass. And that's kind of something that gets played with a lot in the films, where she'll start out as a victim.
Memory a lot too.
Yeah, but she'll start out as a victim of the Umbrella Corporation, but she takes them down every single time. And even, like, no matter how many times they try to victimize her, she always
comes back stronger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I always thought that that was kind of cool, because that doesn't necessarily happen in any other female-led series. So,
yeah, and that's another thing, is that I really like that throughout she's just a badass.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, she's not falling in love and, like, getting into dangerous...
There's some great flirtatious moments with Oded Fair.
But it's not like, oh, I'm going to risk my life for you. She risks her life for a lot of people, but it's not, like, purely love-driven.
Yeah.
It's humanity-driven.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is that one moment where in the Extinction?
Is it the fourth one?
Yeah, the one where they're going into the
Tokyo?
different they go into the different scenarios, and she has to save the girl.
Oh yeah,
I think that almost went into the trap of like you have to bring down you have to bring down the kick-ass woman to make the maternal her flaw. And it does to a certain extent, but again, like the rest of the series does, it kind of tweaks it a little bit, where she'll still be a badass. It's not a flaw in the traditional flaw where it takes it away or inhibits her powers in any way.
Yeah, so she finds a way to work with both, not get rid of one and keep another.
Right.
It's not a trade-off. It's why can't you have both?
Yeah. Final thoughts.
I really like that the men in the film deferred to her leadership, when I feel like a lot of times when we see strong female characters, they still have like a male in charge. So I think it's nice to watch in this whole series that she's been consistent no matter what, that the people that join her are consistent and they don't try to take over the story, that she's...
Or if they do, they get eaten.
Right. Yeah, that they die, or they turn out to be a villain and she kills them, or whatever.
Right.
But, I like that that's been consistent, that she's in charge, it's her story, and she's constantly like, this is what we're going to do. You guys can fall in line, or you can die.
Yeah. I kind of felt meh about the last one, but I do like the series as a whole. As campy and cheesy as they are, it's nice to have a really strong female lead. Even in her tiny outfits, she can still kick ass. So like, she's able to be just a powerful kick-ass character without having to defer to men.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, and for all you men out there, hint, hint.
Yeah.
We appreciate when you don't step on our toes.
Yeah.
Deliberately.
Yeah.
Or undeliberately.
Yeah.